Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Today we are in a 2015 Dodge Charger. This is the SXT V6 all-wheel drive model. And today we're going to do our shaky cam interior review of this car. This is just a really well done car. They've kind of upped the game a little bit. Body styling is the major point. Most people will notice those kind of cartoonish rear haunches are gone. It's a little more refined, but it still has that, Dukes of Hazzard heritage. So it's well done, very well done. And I've done a lot of miles on this car this week and had a pretty good time doing it. It's a great highway cruising model here. So let's get started. If you've seen some of our Dodge reviews before, or Chrysler vehicles, specifically we did the Chrysler 200 not too long ago, then you'll recognize the steering. This is the basic Chrysler steering wheel now. You'll see it in just about all the Dodge and Chrysler vehicles. You have your usual over here for this stuff controls what's going on in that little screen up there. Here's your telematics over there and cruise control over here. Also down here is your usual locks, windows, mirrors, etc. Then you have your headlights and stuff. You'll notice that your headlights here are, I turn them off of auto so that the dashboard will light up because it is trying to turn on the daytime running lights. Because I parked in a deep shade for better camera. And then over here you have your adjustments. One of these is interior lights, the other one is the dashboard dimmers, and the rear trunk pops. For those who are wondering, down here in there, you can probably just barely see it. There's a button right there, that's the fuel port. Just FYI, when the door is open, that's really easy to get to. Going back to the center stack here, if I can find a good camera spot. I did say it was shaky cam, didn't I? Exactly. So over here you have your tachometer. In the V6, I guess that's important, but it's not really a big deal because I highly doubt you're going to be doing sprints in a car like this. It will do them. It will be fun. But it's nothing like, any of the V8s, especially the big 6.2 Hellcat. But I digress. Over here, we have the speed, of course, and then this is your giant, beautiful, beautiful center screen. You could do a lot with this screen here. You can see I have it set to show my trip information, so I've been averaging almost 25 miles a gallon. And remember, this is an all-wheel drive car. And it's a full-size sedan, big car. Over here you have your this is the amount of miles I put on it, so you can see I've put in a pretty good amount of numbers. Spent about 8 hours in the car, etc., etc. Over here's your fuel, this is your gear, and here's your engine heat. Up here's the clock, here's your compass and exterior whatever temperature. So and the stuff in this screen, you can change it like you can any Chrysler vehicle. So there's a lot of information you can have here: tire pressures, how good your oil is, and how soon it is how soon to when you're gonna need to change it, all that good stuff. Then moving along, we have push button start in this car. Then we have the beautiful Uconnect system. In my opinion, best in the business. Very easy to do anything you want with this system here. And then Chrysler just kind of, even in these Dodge vehicles at the lower end, Chrysler has figured out how to balance what this can do with hard controls so that you don't get lost and can quickly make some adjustments. Over here you see you have your traction control. That's the back button for when you're up there, and hazards, of course. Then you have your volume and tuning, and then I have it muted by just pushing that in, which is really cool. It's nice and big and easy to get to too. Over here you have climate controls. This is your basic climate controls. So these are controls for, this has dual zone heating. You can turn the air conditioner on and off really quickly. Here's your recirculation. Over here's your I'm just talking too fast. That's all it is. Anyway, over here's your defrost, and then here you have your fan control. And then you can turn it on auto. I've turned it off, of course, because we don't need the noise level. And then you can do everything else from there. So you can do all kinds of stuff. And you can preset stuff, of course, as is usual with Uconnect. You can preset climate control so that when you get in the car and start it up, bam, it's already running the way you probably want it to run. Moving along, we have a nice cubby down here. I've been setting my phone in here. It's just the right size for a good size smartphone right here. Then you have your 12-volt plug here, and a shifter. You notice there's no rotary dial in this car. That's probably because they asked a few customers, and the customer says we don't want a rotary dial in a muscle car. We want something to grab onto. So there you go. And this is I love this shape. It's such a good shape. And you can manually shift by when you're in drive, you shove it over and you can go up and down. Then you have this cool little thing, another good spot to just set a phone. This is, I'll just pull it up. You might have seen photos of this that I've taken. Here you go, Dodge Brothers. Designed in Detroit. Car was actually made in Canada, just so you know. Down here, this is the bourgeois cover, and then here's your drink holders. Big enough for Starbucks, not much more than that, and they do not pull out. So, you know, take what you can get. Here you have your center console. Nice, pretty good sized cubby. Not huge because there is a drive shaft running down there. I'm going to talk about the drivetrain in a minute because it's pretty cool in this car. They did a great job, and they did some really smart things with it. I'll explain that. Now, you want to see this. This is cloth seating, very comfortable cloth seating. I am generally partial to cloth seating. I like leather and leatherette when it's perforated or when it's done well, but really, when it comes down to it, I prefer cloth, and that's because I'm one of those shorts and sandals types, and I don't like sticking to the seat. And this is beautiful stuff. It's very grippy. Very, very grippy, holds you right in place. Sport bolsters are just right, so they're not getting you in the kidneys all the time, even when you're my size. And I'm a big dude, so very nicely done. Dodge put a fair amount of effort into designing good seats for this car, and it really paid off. Then I want you to just see some of the color tones and changes. This is soft touch stuff right here. This car is pretty quiet on the highway. I was really surprised for the price point at how quiet this car is. Then you have, of course, there's one of the big speakers, and you see the two tones. So you have cloth here, and then plastic up there, and cloth down there. Just nicely done. Back seat is a very good size. I can sit in the back seat with the front seat adjusted for me, and my knees are just touching the seat. So that's a good. Well, it's the beauty of a full-size sedan. And the trunk, I'm calling it, I believe I decided the trunk would be a Jersey 2-body with room for a shovel. So good size trunk. Now, I was going to talk about the drivetrain really quickly before we sign off here. What they did was, it's all-wheel drive drivetrain, but in normal operations, it's only rear-wheel drive. It's a magnetic coupling. So when it feels it needs all-wheel drive, or when you tell it you want all-wheel drive, you know, by setting it in snow mode or whatever, when it feels like it needs the all-wheel drive, then it just instantly has it, just like that, through that magnetic coupling to add the front wheels. Great job. It's a big part of the reason this gets such great fuel economy. If you consider the fact that we're at 5,400 feet in altitude, and our freeway speed limit is 80 miles an hour here, 24.6 miles a gallon is not that bad in a car this size. That's great. I'll take it. So there you go. That's the 2015 Dodge Charger. I will note that I briefly drove the 2015 Chrysler 300, which is the same platform and chassis as this. I'm in my tastes, I prefer the 300 because I like the more refined styling it has. I like the more refined feel. It's a more of a luxurious car than this is. This is more of a sport-tuned muscle style car. But I know people, in fact, I drove the 300 with somebody who owns a Charger, a 2013 model, and he loves it. So, it's just a matter of taste. I would take this car any day of the week. This is a great car. Nice highway cruiser. Very, very well done. Nice, seatingly comfortable. Looks good. It's just a good car. So, there you have it. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. 2015 Charger SXT V6 all-wheel drive. All right, we'll talk to you again soon.